Tarbert is a small village situated on the west shores of Loch Lomond, at the junction of the A82 and A83. This small neck of land separates Loch Lomond from the sea and Loch Long. Now we're heading for our first night's free motorhome stopover at the Slange Bar and Restaurant, which is only a 10-minute walk from Tarbert on Loch Lomond. At the top of the road you need to be taking the A83, which is signpost Campbelltown. If you look on your right hand side, you will see the spire of the old chapel. That is where you need to be heading. Our first Scottish stopover at the Slange Bar and Restaurant, which is a 10-minute walk from Tarbert on Loch Lomond. A great Scottish welcome awaits you, with great food and a good stock of whisky and beers. And it's a free motorhome stopover. The new town of Inveraray was built between 1753 and 1776. It is one of the earliest and best preserved plant towns in Scotland. It was created a borough of barony by James III in 1474 and a royal borough in 1648 by Charles I. The picturesque fishing village of Tarbert is Scotland's oldest royal borough and greatest natural harbour, sitting at the northern tip of the Kintyre Peninsula. A car ferry runs between Tarbert and Portoverde on the Cowal mainland. People have lived at the head of Campbelltown Loch for many thousands of years, and throughout Kintyre lie the visible signs of the many who have lived and died here, each adding their own bright, fragile strand to its history. Many influences are to be found in the names of places and people, from the Bronze and Iron Ages, then the early Christians. 100 years ago, Campbelltown was full of whisky distilleries, the harbour was full of fishing boats, and the Gaelic could be heard spoken in the town. Visit the Heritage Centre and Campbelltown Museum for more information. Today, there are 3 distilleries and a handful of boats left, but you will find 2 large supermarkets. Come this way, in the footsteps of saints and kings, and the magic spell of Scotland's only mainland island. It will capture your imagination, as it has other visitors for thousands of years. Many have tried to keep Kintyre for themselves, but the beauty of Kintyre is a secret that just cannot be kept. A scenic trail, indeed, it's easy to follow, yet with countless quiet corners to delight the eye, in which to recharge your batteries for the hectic world outside. Its long history, predating the Viking Age, boasts the ivy-clad ruins of Tarbert Castle, dating back to the 12th century, once an important stronghold of the Clan Donald. The castle was greatly extended by Robert the Bruce in the 14th century, to include a hall built on pillars, dwelling houses, a new kitchen, a wine house, bakehouse, goldsmith's house, a malt house, a brew house, and a moat, a lime kiln, quite an extension. The magnificent scenery changes around every corner as we make our way to Mallaig and then on by boat to the Isle of Skye. Ewing tends to be seen as less a part of Skye than a stepping stone en route to the Western Isles. It is from here that you catch the ferry to Lochmaddy on North Uist and Tarbert on Harris. But while the life of Uig does rotate around the ferry terminus, there's a lot more here besides which, coupled with its spectacular setting, makes Uig well worth a visit in its own right. A beautiful campsite, a restaurant, a pottery. Gairloch is a fantastic place to visit, and of course for exploring Wester Ross and the North West Highlands. Situated on the shore of Loch Gairloch, amongst the awe-inspiring scenery of Wester Ross. Gairloch offers a wealth of spectacular scenery and activities for visitors. There are several good sandy beaches in the area, such as the brilliantly named Big Sand. Loch Ewe, as a side many people are unaware of. This beautiful north-facing loch in Wester Ross was used as a convoy collecting point with a strong naval presence during World War II. Archaeological evidence from around Ullapool and Loch Broom demonstrates human settlements and activities have been present since the end of the last Ice Age. Brocks, cairns and Iron Age forts still scatter the landscape, emphasizing the connection with crofting and fishing that established people in the region. Many place names of townships such as Ullapool have Norse origins, inherited from the Vikings who made the region their home, and details of their lives were uncovered when 2 soapstone bowls were discovered by road builders working at Braemore, south of Ullapool, in the 1950s, and a third, now housed at Ullapool Museum, was found on the Isle of Teneriffe. The village of Ullapool was established by the British Fisheries Society in 1788, and the eminent civil engineer Thomas Telford acted as consultant in the subsequent development of the village and harbour. The herring industry that attracted investment in the new port and its infrastructure has undergone periodic booms and declines over the years. The early Saturday morning boat to Stornoway on the Isle of Lewis is the only boat of the week which allows foot passengers to disembark and spend 2 hours looking around Stornoway before returning to Ullapool. And I can tell you, it's a great day out. Stornoway is the largest town in the Outer Hebrides, and it's a harbour town which comes with plenty of charm of its own. Get introduced to Gaelic arts, literature and music, and island traditions at the town's Hearts Hub, and at the new museum, or browse independent shops for locally made crafts and unique gifts. Stroll along the quayside at Stornoway Harbour and hear the shouts of the fishermen as the traditional fleet land the catch of the day, before shipping it out to the island's amazing eateries. Smell the unmistakable odour of peat in the air as the smokehouses turn the seafood specimens into island specialities, and feel the wind off the minch that carry so many here from the mainland. The townspeople, young and old, gather together for a three-legged race around all the pubs and hotels, collecting for a rescue boat for Ullapool. Not a bad thing when there's a drink at each one and money in the collecting bucket. The road north of Ullapool takes us back into a completely different landscape, where Wester Ross is already remote and wild. Sutherland is even more so, with its huge and strange-shaped mountains. The roads are quiet, and the landscape is desolate but stunningly beautiful, with big views, remote lochs and castles, such as the ruin of Ardvec Castle at Loch Asynt. West from Loch Asynt is the lovely village of Lochimber, and you can make a beautiful detour over the single-track road towards Storr. Further north is one of the most beautiful and remote beaches in the UK, the beach of Sandwood Bay, 2 kilometres of deserted beach backed by dunes and with views towards a huge sea stack. Durness can be found on the north coast, in the far northwest of Sutherland. This part of the country is the centre of the ancient lands of the Clan MacCabe, situated amid wonderful mountain scenery and spectacular coastal views, with a mixture of rocky shores and amazing sandy beaches and bays. The village of Durness is the most northwesterly community on the British mainland. However, the village could be more accurately described as a scattering of crofting townships spread out along the coastal road. The local economy relies on crofting and tourism, and Durness is a popular centre for tourists exploring the northwest of Sutherland. Dornoch Castle was built around 1500 as the home of the bishops of Caithness. Located in the centre of the town, Dornoch's cathedral dates from the early 13th century. It was founded by Bishop of Caithness, Gilbert de Morva, in 1224. Can you believe this attractive hamlet used to be a refugee camp? During the clearances, evicted families arrived here and built temporary turf huts for shelter. In time, they were able to replace these dwellings with stone-built walls and thatched roofs. Their refugee settlement soon became known as Little Town. From this great vantage point, you can look out over the Moray Firth to the Black Isle and the headlands of the Cromarty Firth. They can appear to be quite close, but they are a good 8 miles away, and between here and there lies another world. The open sea here supports a wealth of wildlife, from marine mammals such as the world-famous bottlenose dolphins, harbour porpoises, grey and common seals, as well as smaller creatures like fish and shellfish. The beach bar at Lossiemouth. £5 to stay overnight, knowing your motorhome is safe while you take a look around Lossiemouth. Today's Lossiemouth has seen many changes. The eastern harbour has been converted into a spectacular yachting marina, while the railway sheds that used to service it have been swept away in favour of harbourside houses and flats. The northern harbour continues to protect vessels of all shapes and sizes, and there remains a resident fishing fleet and a fish market there. Visitors can also enjoy 2 superb beaches here. One, West Bay, stretches for 3 miles to the west beyond the headland housing Coventry Lighthouse. Now sit back and relax and enjoy your own personal air show.